So let's move on to the next session. The last session was really incredible one. So the next session is roads, highways, bridges and warehouses. And let me just invite the speakers. Mr. Mohit Kapoor, Chair Projects and Events Committee, Warehousing Association of India. A big round of applause for Mr. Mohit. Dr. Satish Pandey, Principal Scientist, CRRI. Can we have a big round of applause for Dr. Pandey? Mr. Ravindra Kumar Goyal, Principal Executive Director, Bridges at Indian Railway. Please have some applause. Mr. Arun Pandit, Co-Founder -SCS. Last but not the least, Mr. Pushpank Kaushik, Head Business Development, Subcontinent, Middle East and Southeast Asia, Jasper Shipping. So the discussion points would be efficient transportation network, last mile connectivity, development of expressway and dedicated freight corridors to reduce transit times. Along with it, development of BART services, infrastructure for hazardous materials. So the session will be moderated by Ms. Bachchan. Over to you, Ms. Bachchan.
Thank you so much, and I hope मैंने सबको उठा दिया नींद से. So the quiz are working very well, and also if you are feeling bored, you can open your mithai dabbas which are there in your bags and start munching. So we'll start this last session, which we have it on road, highway, bridges and warehouse, and we also have Mr. Pushpank, who is representing the chartering and FFAs from Jasper Shipping here. So I'll start with the panel discussion straight away, but first I would request all the speakers to talk for 3 to 4 minutes to introduce their expertise, area of expertise, and then we will start the questions. I'll start with Mr. Satish Pandey. Dr. Satish Pandey, over to you.
Thank you, Monica ji, for inviting into this important conference. I'm working with CSIR, Central Road Research Institute, Ministry of Science and Technology. So we are basically responsible for development of construction and maintenance technologies for development of road networks in the country. We are working closely with Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, Indian Road Congress, National Highway Authority of India, Border Road Organization, Central Public Work Department, and whosoever is dealing with the roads in the country. So like this is my expertise domain. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pushpank Kaushik from Jasper Shipping. Jasper Shipping is majorly into bulk, break bulk projects, mostly into subcontinent, Middle East and Southeast Asia. We specialize in operating and as brokers.
Logistics sector from somebody who is a part of Logistic Warehousing Association of India. So I think I will be the person who has seen the pains of steel industry, but who has also seen the opportunities coming up in logistics sectors. So no doubt there are a lot of challenges because our country and our economy industry is coming out of a slumber. So there will be challenges. We have to make pace to catch the developed worlds. But the best part about challenges, what I feel is they give us the opportunities as well. And trust me, all the stakeholders, right from the smallest player of logistic and steel industry, metal industry, to government, they are doing their bit to erase these things, and we are due to take a big leap ahead. Let national logistic policy gain more momentum. Let PM Gati Shakti come out in full force, and this country's economy is definitely going to breach the mark of those certain trillions, because there are two different assumptions and two different claims. So I'm not giving any figures, but yes, we'll definitely breach all those marks, and maybe much before 2047. So we'll definitely be an Atmanirbhar Viksit Bharat.
Thank you, Monica ji, for inviting me for this panel discussion. I am Principal Executive Director at Railway Board, Ravindra Kumar Goyal. My passion is about the bridges, you can say, because I have worked in RDSO, I have worked in bridge maintenance, I have worked in construction, made bridges, maintained bridges, and now I am taking stock of all the bridges and related problems. So just for the sake of your information, Indian Railway is the only organization in the country which is under a single management, and it is having a full-fledged bridge department. The designations like chief bridge engineer, deputy chief bridge engineers, they are very often not listened in any other government department. So I know the problems, I know the challenges, and I also know the demands of the industry to improve the logistics. And we, under the guidance of our able minister and our यशस्वी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी जो हैं, उनका जो गति शक्ति PM गति शक्ति योजना है, उसके तहत we are trying our best to improve the logistics, to reduce the logistics cost. So just for the sake of information, once again to everybody, there is a World Bank agency which gives the ranking of the India was ranking 54, and in 2024 we are ranking 38. So we have done a commendable progress in the last 10 years. And again, to give you some more data, about 5,000 kilometers of new track in terms of new lines, doubling or conversion, we have added in 2022-23, and again in 2023-24, we have added almost the similar network. So you can imagine 10,000 kilometers of track has been added in last 2 years, and this pace is to be maintained and to be improved. And with that, we are also adding to our demands of maintenance, and we are also cautious about reducing the cost of employees. We are, let me tell you again, when I joined railway some 34 years back, our Indian Railway strength was 14,50,000 around. Now we are somewhere 12,50,000 only. So in last 34 years, we have reduced our employees' strength, and we have expanded our network many more times. And just again one more thing, about 850 level crossings on an average per year we are reducing. 850 level crossing we are reducing every year by making either the subway or the ROB, or by making both. So this is again a big work we are doing to improve the logistics, because that eases out the delays that you take, that you encounter at the closed level crossing gates. So it's a big job that we have undertaken, and we are again trying to improve this pace. Right now 850 per year to say 1500 per year we would be doing after 3-4 years, because we have developed a new vertical to execute this work of. With so much of data, I hand over the mic to my next speaker, Mr. Arun Pandit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Arun Pandit, and I'm the co-founder at Hyphen SCS. So Hyphen SCS is India's biggest warehousing and fulfillment platform. Till date, we have onboarded around 54,000 warehouses, physically verified, across 380 cities, amassing a total area of more than 1 billion square feet, which is not only the highest in the country, but probably the highest in the world. We have got around 5,100 products and services which are related to warehousing, spread across more than 100 categories, which has got more than 750 filters. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to become the one-stop solution for anything and everything related to warehousing and fulfillment. I was one of the youngest members in the FICCI's National Committee for Logistics. I'm also the member of ASSOCHAM's National Council for Warehousing and Logistics, member of Warehouse Association of India with Mohit sir, and member of ITWA with Singla sir, who is sitting there. What we are trying to do is we are trying to not only digitize, automate and optimize the entire warehousing and fulfillment ecosystem by use of first of all getting data in hand, because what cannot be measured cannot be improved. So our first holy aim is to onboard about 1 million warehouses. There are about 10 lakh warehouses in India. We want to onboard them on a singular platform, because data helps in understanding the standardization. Just to give you some quick facts, out of this 1 million warehouses, less than 2% of them have any WMS, TMS, even forget about the quality of the WMS, TMS being implemented with them. For 10 lakh warehouses, there are more than 7 lakh warehouse owners. So it's highly fragmented. And even if you look into the online penetration, these warehouses are on less than 2% of them are available online. That means through property portals or just dials of the world which are there. Even if you look into the WDRAs of the world, which is the apex body in warehousing, they have got data of around 5,000 warehouses only. So what we are trying to do is first bring in the data. That data helps understand, gets insights, helps understand, get grading related information, how many of these warehouses are graded, what is the current standard, and what is required in order to optimize these warehouses for the future needs. So this is a broad introduction of myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, all the panelists. Now we will start from the point of view of road and highways, for which I have Dr. Satish Pandey, Principal Scientist of CRRI. Satish ji, you are a pioneer in innovations in roads technologies. I want to understand how can research and innovation in road construction and maintenance help accommodate the heavy vehicle load required for metal and mineral transport, where we see there's so many roads, they get washed off during rainy season, and we have seen it happening. So what kind of research and innovation can help us with roads and highways?
Thank you, Monica ji. It's a very important question. Like in majority of industrial corridor as well as in mining areas, we are finding roads in quite deteriorated in condition. And although the India holds world's second largest road network, and Indian Road Congress has around 350 specification and guidelines for construction of different type of road networks across the country, but still there is no dedicated guidelines and specification for construction of roads in the mining areas as well as in industrial corridor. So if you will see the Indian scenario, then the legal axle load limit is 10.5 ton, and when we design the road, then we consider this particular axle load to determine the pavement test composition and all. But in reality, on industrial corridor as well as in mining areas, we are finding the axle load ranging between 25 to 40 ton. So it's like this particular heavier axle load condition is damaging our road network. So in this direction, we have developed a couple of new innovative solutions, and we are implementing along with National Highway Authority of India in dedicated mining and industrial corridors, particularly in state of Odisha as well as in Chhattisgarh, so that these roads can sustain this heavy axle load without any sort of deterioration in 10 to 12 years service lifetime. Another important aspect in this domain is to utilization of industrial waste material as well as the waste material generated into the mines. So like majority of mines are the open cast mines where the huge quantity of overburden waste are generated. So we are working closely with Tata to utilize these overburden waste for the construction of heavy duty roads in the mining area. Majority of roads are basically shifting in nature, since the mines remain operated for a particular period of time, and after that this road is supposed to be shifted. So these roads are largely unpaved road, which also causes significant air pollution, ambient air pollution in the area. So we have developed certain sustainable economical options which can be adopted by the mining industry for constructing the heavy duty roads in this area. In this direction, our new invention is the steel slag road technology, where we have utilized the industrial waste of steel industry for the construction of heavy duty roads. We constructed world's first steel slag road at Surajgarh, Gujarat, connecting AMNS India Arcelor plant to Hazira port, utilizing 100% steel slag as a substitute of natural aggregate. So one of the most advantageous aspect of this road is that, like in comparison to the conventional road, this road is around 32% thinner and around 4 times stronger. So we are monitoring its performance continuously for last 2.5 years, and there is no single pothole found in it. We replicated this success story with Tata Steel in Jamshedpur, Ranchi, Kolkata corridor, as well as with JSW Steel on NS66 Mumbai, Goa, and these roads are performing satisfactorily on various serviceability parameters. So in the similar direction, we are parallelly working different types of industrial waste utilization like red mud, fly ash, and zero site, the industrial waste generated through the zinc industry. Through that, how we can utilize them in place of natural aggregate and construct more durable, more stronger road in comparison to natural one.
Thank you so much. And I want to ask you another question. What advancements in road construction technology can help reduce transit times for trucks carrying bulk material to factories, warehouse and ports? Of course, you have spoken about slag roads, but besides slag, is there any more technology? You are saying slag is an economical option. So are there more economical options other than slag? As in, do we have multiple options?
Yeah, so it's largely depend upon its spatial distribution, like in what area, what type of material is available. Besides that, there are certain alternate methods also. We are working on a stabilized road network. So stabilization is another option where which you can construct a highly durable road. So one such project we are carrying out in Sri Parambadur in one of the industrial corridor, where we are stabilizing the local native soil through a slag-based stabilizer. So it's a very less quantity of material is required to carry out in situ stabilization, through which we can improve the in situ strength of the road by 3 to 4 times. There are another options, utilization of geotextiles and geogrid inside the road. So 3-dimensional geocell can be utilized for the to improve the bearing capacity of the local native soil, which is having low bearing capacity in terms of 2 to 3 CBR value. So it can also provide an economical option. The third important aspect is that the road maintenance. So the road maintenance is another important dimension. You can adopt the periodic maintenance technologies which can bring down the major rehabilitation cost significantly. If there is a periodic and timely intervention of the road maintenance, then the large distresses in terms of potholes, ruttings and cracking will not develop, and your industrial corridor will last long. Similarly, particularly in the warehouse areas, like there is no dedicated guidelines is available in order to construct the road in and around the warehouse areas where majority of slow moving traffics are plying. So when there is a traffic is moving in a very slow speed, there is a higher amount of stresses on the road network and it causes major deterioration in the road. So we are developing one such dedicated guideline along with Indian Road Congress to what type of road should be constructed in and around the warehouse areas, and how and what sort of maintenance is required in that.
Thank you so much. And roads तो अधूरा रहता है जब तक bridges and flyovers नहीं बनते हैं. So moving on to Mr. Ravindra Kumar Goyal, Principal Executive Director, Bridges at Indian Railway. So I want to ask you, based on your experience, what needs to be done to improve quality of construction and monitor the health of bridges for their sustainability? Also, if you could tell us the significance of bridges in creating the efficient transportation network.
Okay. Actually, bridges are vital links, across the rivers, valleys, or all other kinds of obstructions that you have. So when we construct a bridge, in railways, we always think of how it will be maintained and how difficult or how easy it would be if we select a particular type of a configuration. So all the economy of maintenance is taken into consideration at the time of planning of the bridge. Because once you develop some kind of a defect during the service, it is very difficult to rectify this defect, because you cannot compromise on the operations, because that will cut down your basically the savings that you are giving in logistics. So when we construct a bridge, we have to think of its effective maintenance. And I think this is a very good feature with bridges in Indian Railways, that we have got a centralized command where all the drawings of the even new constructions, they are examined by one authority from different perspectives. That is safety during the construction and the maintenance aspects and the economics. Economy of construction also, economy of time also. Because whatever construction we do, if we are doing a construction for a, say, bridge by this side of a existing line, we have to see that the existing operations, they are not hampered. There is no activity which can endanger the safety of the existing bridge or existing operations. So this is very important for us to scrutinize the drawings at the stage of planning itself. That's why many people, they criticize the railways that they take a lot of time in scrutiny of the drawings and giving approvals. But unfortunately, it is our endeavor to ensure that the operations, existing operations, they do not suffer because of any activity, any new activity that we are going to undertake in the vicinity of the track. So that is first point about the construction that we consider. The second thing you said about the health monitoring. Again, we have inherited a legacy from the Britishers regarding the maintenance systems. We have got the codal provisions, we have got the manual provisions for almost each and every aspect of maintenance, whether it is bridge maintenance, whether it is building maintenance, whether it is track maintenance or any other maintenance. So for bridges also, for design we have got different codes. For loadings, we have got bridge rules. So they specify the kind of loads that you have to undertake, that you have to consider while designing a new bridge. They gives us the guidelines for designing of superstructure, designing of substructure, designing of foundations. And then bridge manuals we are having, then supported by a R&D organization, RDSO, BNS directed, that gives us guidelines how to do a particular type of a job. So that way we are able to maintain our bridges, and you would surprise, we have got 1,65,000 bridges on Indian Railways, and all of them are on a portal, and we can access about the features of a bridge out of these 1,65,000 bridges just by clicking of a mouse. So that kind of a bridge management system we are having, and that's how we are able to maintain these bridges and give you a service which is almost without any break in the operation.
Right,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. So I'm hearing some noise from the back benches. जो क्लास में होते हैं ना नॉटी बच्चे जो आखिरी में बैठते हैं लास्ट सीट्स पे एंड सबसे ज़्यादा शोर मचाते हैं. So I request the back benches to maintain the silent. Trust me, after 30 minutes you will get the tea, coffee, and we will be having a networking hour. We can get some photos clicked. So till now, I request the back benches to maintain the silence. These are the people, the naughtiest in the class, I can see that. So, Ravindra sir, I have another question for you. So, when we talk about the bridges designs, in fact, we did one webinar, if you recall, on why so many bridges are collapsing nowadays. And during the rainy season, one of the feedback what I received after the webinar, some of the audience, they said it is because of inland waterways, because they're doing too much of dredging of rivers. Does it also impact river bridges, or maybe it is just another angle to think upon?
Monica ji, let me tell you, this can be one-off case, but we have got a system where we inspect each and every bridge once before the monsoon, just to see if there is anything which can endanger the safety of the bridge during the monsoon, and then one inspection by the assistant level officer after the monsoon to check whether any serious damage has been done to the bridge or not. So this is a very meticulous laid down system, and we are very seriously monitoring these two inspections and recording it on the bridge management system as I have just explained to you.
My next follow-up question to you on this, because you are from the bridge, so I have many questions for you,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I'll try to reduce my questions. When we design the bridge and when we construct a bridge, what is the lifespan we think that bridge should survive?
Monica ji, again, this question is actually not very straight question, because there is no relationship between the age of the bridge and the design parameters as on date. But in case of steel girder bridges that we are having lot many steel girder bridges, because steel was the most preferred material by the Britishers when they constructed these bridges. Concrete had come later on in 1930s or so earlier the bridges were mostly in steel. So these steel girder bridges, when they are subjected to dynamic loads, they suffer fatigue, and it was a mystery to understand how this fatigue affects the life of a bridge. So in 1982, it was first came in BS code, BS 5400 Part 10, I would be very accurate to say. that this mystery was solved. And then Indian Railway kept on working on this. In 2012, we came up with a code where we could correlate with the life of the bridge, steel girder bridge, with the type of loading and the GMT of the route. As somebody has been talking right now, that they are facing problem in the road because of the heavier axle load. So we have been monitoring this issue and we have found there is a direct effect of running heavier axle load on the fatigue life of the bridges. So we are now having a formula to correlate, and rather not, it doesn't give very accurate picture, but it gives a very reasonable estimate of the residual fatigue life of the existing girder bridges. And we have got the provisions now to design the new bridges depending upon what kind of loading we will be having and what kind of a GMT we would be having. So this is a very wonderful question. Thank you for asking this question, because I was involved with the research on this topic. Thank you.
So one last question before you close the mic. So as we are talking here today about modern logistics, we are seeing so many modern bridges are falling. So when it get constructed in 2 days, as in, let's take an example of Bihar, especially Bhagalpur area, the river bridges are almost falling whenever it gets constructed. In fact, I think during the webinar, we also discussed, and these are all fresh constructions. So again coming to, मतलब वहीं पे हम आ रहे हैं जलेबी की तरह दोबारा से.
No, ma'am. What I would like to say, these are the bridges which have been constructed by the unprofessional people, I would say. Maybe I cannot comment who were the people who had constructed or who had been overseeing the construction. But fortunately, so far we have not, or rather you must not have heard about any railway bridge getting failed in such a short duration.
That is absolutely true, and we must congratulate you for Chenab. I think it's an engineering marvel
yes.
है. And
Yes, not only Chenab.
उसके लिए तो एक जोरदार ताली हो जाए for Chenab Bridge. One of the finest structure by Indian Railway.
Yes,
absolutely
not only Chenab,
congratulating you for
many
that.
more such bridges. One is Anjikhad, other is Bogeybill Bridge in Assam and you say Arunachal Pradesh. It has connected Assam with the Arunachal Pradesh. And then one more bridge recently, it has been announced 4-lane rail cum road bridge, wherein 6 lanes of road would be there on the new rail bridge. So costing around 2,600 crores at Banaras, between Mughal Sarai, between Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Banaras. So this will be another marvel, I would say. Thank you.
So now from the roads to bridges, now we are moving on to the warehouses. And for warehouses, we have Mr. Mohit Kapoor and Mr. Arun Pandit. Mohitji, coming to you. So looking at the current scenario and government planning for better logistic infrastructure for metals in India. Okay, I want to take up the question. How do you see the role of warehouses evolving in the metals and mineral supply chain?
See, logistic, if said, is a backbone of our economy, will not be exaggeration. And currently, government definitely, there's a reason why national logistic policy is working on bringing down this logistic cost from current 13 to 14% to single digit, which is in developed country, it is 7 to 8%. And warehousing, as few of the predecessors I've heard saying, that logistics and warehousing are part of entire system. So this warehousing is actually, I would say, representing 3 major aspects of our industry: supply chain, logistic and warehousing as well. So warehousing now is evolving day by day. If I talk about my own experience, our association, we are the first one in 2022 to create E-standards of warehousing in India, which is now proudly being followed by Japanese, German and American warehousing industries. So we are trying to streamline and standardize the warehousing concept designs, which will help government to plan better about the logistic hubs, as well as the end users to utilize it up to the best efficiency. since new warehousing and standards will be developed, so they will be bound to have new material handling equipments, new creation of a very simple thing of creating a dock, a docking at warehouse. It reduces the time of loading, unloading. And some few issues that are hampering this industry are lack of multimodal transportation and intermodal transportation. We have been hearing since morning, and I've been hearing in all workshops and seminars that 60% of our logistic is still dependent on roads, which is very costly, which is time consuming. And the worst part is, on a national average, it is not same. If we talk about the speed of road transportation, in Gujarat and Rajasthan, it is around 37 to 40 kilometers per hour. When we come to the eastern side, say Odisha, Jharkhand, Bengal, it reduces to 18 to 26 kilometers. And it is a hub for steel industry or metal industry. So that is having a multiple effect of not just increased cost, increasing carbon emissions, increased blockage on road transportation, as well as there is a hidden cost as well. When the end consumers and stakeholders not confirmed about the time duration they will need to get either their raw materials transported or bring or distribute their finished product, they are bound to keep extra stocks, inventories, which are not required. So as we say, a penny saved is a penny earned. A penny stuck in unutilized stock is a penny wasted.
Yes, that's true.
So this national logistic policy as well as our Gati Shakti master plan, they are working to give very optimization into this warehousing sector. And another issue why railway, despite being very cheaper as compared to road transport, has not been adopted is because of the first mile and last mile connectivity issues from railway yards. And what is happening is, another staggering figures is, India, and I'll give my own examples. 6 months back when I was selling steel in APL Apollo, my standard line, because I was fed that by my factory and sales team, was to tell the clients that you have to give us a PO in multiple of 25 to 30 tons. Though I was particularly not dealing into retail trade, I was dealing into construction. The requirement was 500 to 5,000 tons. Still, we had a habit of asking the client to give us PO in multiple of 25 to 30 ton, because we know that the truck's load is that. Whereas if we would have asked them or ourselves tried to transport those material into a 40 metric ton capacity truck, the cost would have been reduced by 40%. Time would have increased in delivery, carbon emission would have reduced, but even we were not ready to step up. And what's happening right now in interiors or last mile connectivity, we are using smaller 9 metric ton trucks, which is not efficient, not cost wise, not carbon emission wise, not time wise. So we have to still inculcate all those ideas and start focusing and investing on future technologies, digitalization, you say, for last mile connectivity, for data. And the worst part is we are not yet ready to digitalize ourselves, so we are lacking data, which is hampering our government's planning as well, because government needs data to plan. So warehousing is up for a revamp, and steel industry or metal industry should also try and focus on not just depending upon or not just focusing on short-term benefits. Look at the long-term benefits, incorporate all those new technologies and new ideas that government is bringing, and then the sky will be the limit.
I think you have covered almost all the aspects. Now coming to the Mr. Arun Pandit, you're a specialist into warehouse designing and all. I want to ask you, how does warehouse design impact the efficiency of metal and minerals logistic, and what are the key elements to consider when designing a warehouse, especially for handling heavy materials like steel, aluminium and other metals?
Thank you. So basically, while coming for this discussion, being a warehousing related startup, I tried to search a lot of material when specific to industrial and metal and minerals related warehousing. I read through multiple reports and I realized that there is very, very limited data available to, you can say, actionable insights in order to build a particular warehouse. At a broader level, when it comes to location decision factors, where do we build a warehouse for an industrial consumption or a metal and mineral consumption? I went through some, you can say, theories which were called Weber's theory, which were focused on regional parameters, which focused on agglomerative or deglomerative factors. But it had also got a lot of flaws which could not be implemented specifically when it comes to India. Then there was another theory which was called Sargat-Florence theory, which worked on the coefficient of localization. So first of all of these theories which are propelled by a big economist are typically not relevant to India. So there is no India specific. So whenever we talk about grading also, like Mohit sir said, if you look into the grading, maybe Japanese and American companies are looking forward to that grading. But when it comes to India, of course it is good with respect to benchmarking. But practically how many people can implement that? Every particular standard in that grading has an ISO standard or a BIS standard. I particularly feel that 99% of the people who own warehouses cannot understand and practically implement those benchmarks. So when again digging into the industrial segment, I realized that if you want to find an industrial or a metal and minerals kind of warehousing, we get a lot of queries of it. But it is very difficult to find a particular warehouse for that. Because most of these warehouses are very niche warehouses. These are niche warehouses which typically are generally built to suit. It's not openly available for them. Of course, the ROI is high, 15-20%, even more. But typically, they are not easily available if you want that kind of warehousing. They require dense hybrid racks, which are there. As far as the flooring is considered, the normal concrete flooring doesn't work. For lower loads, you do an epoxy coating. For a higher load, you create an epoxy flooring itself in order to basically carry that particular loadage. Most of them are not smart in nature because as of now they are still working on at a basic conceptual operational level. And what I found out was that the return on investment, like I said, is 15-20%, which is comparatively higher with respect to the other warehouses. And as far as the design is considered, see, a typical warehouse, industrial warehouse in US would be somewhere around 1 million square feet, which looks into metals and minerals. India, it would be somewhere around 1 lakh to 3 lakh. So average warehouse size for a metal and mineral warehouse would be 1,60,000 warehouses, which is very, very small. In order to get the exact efficiencies from these warehouses, you require a much, much bigger warehouse. Because space utilization is of importance, and if the space is bigger, you are able to minimize the distance run, because the kind of commodities which are stored there, it doesn't require frequent changing of hand. It requires a singular flow. It needs to be very well designed with respect to the material comes in, whether it is stored, then how it moves into the end transportation or the shipping part of it. Then the other thing is, as far as safety is considered, like I've already told, the reinforced flooring are required, signs are required, anti-slip is required, because safety is of a major concern. I've been to warehouses of Tata Steel and I've seen how diligently they apply it. Structural considerations are very important when you create an industrial warehouse, because like I've talked about the reinforced flooring. High ceiling, the ceiling is typically 12 to 16 meters because you require specific cranes, gantry cranes, which are required in order to pick and move the particular warehouse. HDR systems are required for storage and handling of equipment. Forklifts are required. Overhead cranes are required. And in specific case, when it comes to minerals, so you require conveyor belts depending upon the type of minerals in order to optimize the entire flow. Space related, there as far as a lot of economical and environmental constraints are also there. Ventilation is important. Ventilation is an important factor. Dust and temperature control is an important factor. You need to put in dust suppression systems which are required in order to comply to these policies. So what I've typically found out is, as far as industrial warehouse is concerned, finding the land, there are multiple factors. First is the economical factor. Where do you get the land cheaper? The access to commute, which is roadways, which is a very big concern. Most of the places, if you go to warehouses of metals and minerals, you'll find that road is typically damaged. It is not a very easy to use road. I mean, you will have a joyride going through those particular. That hampers the logistics part of it also, and it also hampers the transportations, because the transporters are not very happy and willing to go through that particular thing. So typically in these kind of warehouses, there are a lot of challenges, the economical challenges, environmental related challenges, local challenges. A lot of these warehouses you need to be constructed considering the policies and tax benefits which are there. So at an overall level, I feel there's a lot to be done when it comes to industrial warehousing. Education is required, benchmarking is required. If I ask anyone, okay, do we have a consolidated handbook of what are the best practices for a metal and mineral warehousing? Probably will not have. We'll have to go to individual consultants for each and everything in order to get that particular thing. So I think there's a long way to go in this, but in the industrial warehousing. But as India is given, there are 14, you can say manufacturing related incentives are being given. So the manufacturing would increase. If the manufacturing would increase, automatically these warehouses would be required more, whether it's for raw material or assembling or finished goods. So I think things would improve in future, but right now there's a lot to be done.
So now we have covered warehouses, design aspect, logistic aspect. Now we are moving on to the shipping aspect. For that we have Mr. Pushpang Kaushik, Head Business Development of Jasper Shipping. So Pushpang ji is looking after freight forwarding. I want to understand from you, Pushpang ji, in the current global trade environment, what are the key challenges faced in freight forwarders in the shipping industry, particularly for the transportation of metals and mineral, and how is Jasper Shipping addressing these challenges to ensure smooth and reliable logistics?
Thank you, Monica ji. First of all, thank you, Arun ji, for elaborating so much on warehousing. I believe when young entrepreneurs like Arun ji comes forward and sets up a startup or a new organization for an ancillary industry like warehousing in logistic as an industry, it's the way forward for our nation. Because we have one of the best companies here, TM International, speaking about logistics. We have Arun ji here. So the way forward is bright for India. And when we talk about challenges in freight forwarding and how Jasper Shipping overcomes these challenges, we live in a world which is very volatile, and world risk and the global risk that exists right now with various issues coming up in other parts of the world, wars and issues in the Red Sea. These are one of the biggest challenges that as a forwarding company or as a logistic company which we face when we talk about metals and minerals being imported or exported out of India. And to cater to these challenges, we have to be aware. Our team needs to monitor these at regular intervals, almost on daily basis sometimes, so that we can have alternate routes coming up. We can avoid the congestions for our clients. And that's what our team can do to overcome these challenges. And when we talk about the freight rate changes that a company faces, the most useful tool that we always advise our customers is to enter into long-term contracts and have forward freight agreements, which can avoid the volatility of the freight rates. So freight diversification is also an option.
So Pushpang ji, coming to the cost optimization in shipping, freight cost can be a significant factor in metals and mineral logistics. What strategies is Jasper Shipping employing to optimize shipping routes and reduce cost, particularly for bulk cargo shipments, if you tell us, and how does technology play a role in this?
So I'm always a big support for technology advancements, particularly in logistics. And with blockchain and AI-driven options available, which brings in the visibility and the solutions for our industry, this is the way forward for freight or the cost optimization, as you said, Monica ji. And apart from this, like I mentioned in the last part, freight diversification is very important. That means we have multiple options available for our clients to get the freight rates as in, for them, for their logistic cost. Third, and the most suitable, which almost every company here follows, is hiring the complete vessel and shipping their goods. Let it be a Capesize or a Panamax or a Supramax, depends on their requirements. It's always the most comfortable option to bring down the cost.
So I'm opening the house for the Q&A. You can raise your hand. My colleagues will hand over the mics to you. But before, now since they are getting it ready, Pushpang ji, my last question to you. With the trade regulations, we are seeing that right now there are a lot of trade regulations due to global dynamics are changing. So how is it affecting the shipping industry, these trade regulations of other countries also? And what role does your team play in helping the clients navigating these changes, especially in complex shipping environment?
So, a very nice question, because in the very opening statement, the very first statement that I made, it was about volatility in the world trade right now. And almost on the daily basis, our team has to be like a news agency sometimes, informing our clients whether there's going to be a congestion US, whether there's a Red Sea route which is going to be hampered by a certain bombing at a certain point of time on a particular vessel which comes up. So we have to keep our clients informed so that they can make informed decisions for their trade. This is the most important part of all. And once we do this, we are able to maneuver their shipments from an alternate route, or give them a different timeline for shipping their products, which may be at a later point of time, or dealing with a different ship owner altogether, not dealing with a particular country. Now, logistics, when combined with banking, it becomes a big difficulty. A country which might have been very easy to trade with maybe a month earlier is not today. There might be a sanction on a particular country which makes your funds get stuck, maybe which gets your contracts get stuck. So it's always and always important that you consult your logistic companies if they are good at it, and if the team is aware on what trades to enter, and you have them as partners throughout your trade process.
Yeah, so please raise your hand. Yeah, at the back. Devashish. Salochana ji.
So, since we are also in freight forwarding, I had read about digital freight forwarders, and I would like to have your views that do you see it as a challenge or you see it as an opportunity going forward, being a freight forwarder yourself?
Ma'am, I have a belief system that we do not have competition in logistics as an industry, because in India, logistics was never appreciated as an industry. We were never the mainstream industry. So we do not have any competitors in our industry. All we have are support centers for each other. Even if we have digital freight forwarders, it's a good thing, but there's a big disadvantage in being a digital freight forwarder. You do not understand the dynamics of your customer. Every customer comes with unique needs, problems, and solutions that we need to provide to them. So even if digital freight forwarders exist, the solution that they are providing might not be up to the mark of what client needs. And every area in India has a different requirement altogether.
So you see that there is space for everyone to play
Space for everyone. It's a ecosystem that we have to focus on. Logistic ecosystem has to grow in India. For India to bring down the cost from 14% at present to 7 to 8%, we are talking about an ecosystem, no competition.
Thanks.
So I'll just add to it. So do you know that the top 10 organized players with respect to logistics and supply chain in India constitutes of less than 1% of the total logistics spend in the country? Typically, if you go to US and China, this number would be 10-15%. So you can very well imagine that even if there are organized players coming in, there is a lot of scope. It's not even 1%, it's like approximately 1%. So that would probably give you insights. One of our investors is Flexport. Flexport is one of world's biggest digital freight forwarders. And like Pushpang said, I totally agree with him that he is like a news agency. So every single day he is giving information regarding the different routes, what are the challenges there, what they need to be taken. So a lot of education needs to happen, and education also needs to happen almost at a real time kind of basis, because that hampers the decision, capital gets blocked, decision needs to be made. So I totally agree with Pushpang on that front.
And what are your thoughts, Salochana ji, on this, the question? Yeah.
For a change, I tend to agree with both the speakers. I think there is a big market. Standardization of freight forwarding as a service, we have still many years to go. So I tend to agree with both of them. Thanks.
All right, more hands. Any questions? Yes.
My question is to...
Please introduce yourself, sir.
Ma'am, I'm Raj Gopal from AMNS, and my question is to Satish Pandey. Sir, like you have explained the usage of slag and red sand in roads and in different roads. Is there any plan of using iron ore tails also? Any R&D has been done in this regard?
I am doing for AMNS India, your Dantewada facility. So you are having 15 million ton iron ore tailing there. So we are working out the mechanism to get it utilized for the construction of roads in the region. So we are working with AMNS India closely in this direction. But since the iron ore tailing is quite different than slag, so it's require a different technological dimension at all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, just one more thing I just want to share. As I understand right now, the cost of logistics is around 14%. And what I understand right now, the the share of railways is about 27% in the total transportation sector. And if it can be raised to about 40%, probably we would reduce this cost of logistics drastically, maybe 9 to 8%. And it will also help us to reduce the carbon emission because, you know, it is about 1/10 less polluting. Railways is 1/10 less polluting as compared to roadways. Thank you.
I would like to add into it. Sir, this is something what a wonderful thing the National Logistic Policy and PM Gati Shakti has done. They have already mapped around 2,000 metals and steel manufacturing plants across India. And they have not focused on one area or one district. They have mapped it across India. This will help government to use in planning for multimodal hubs and for creating first mile and last mile connectivity to make them able to use these railway yards, because railway line can pass anywhere, but railway yards have to be strategically placed. Apart from them, almost similar numbers or almost all the numbers of our mineral and metal raw material sites have already mapped. Around 22 deficiency points have been targeted, which require intra-department or intra-government confusions were there, they have to be rectified. And SPEL, sectoral plans for efficient logistics, the draft has already been submitted to EGOS. EGOS is empowered group of secretaries, which houses around 23 secretaries directly under Cabinet Secretary and PMO. It will be out soon. So all these things will help to push more logistic trade towards railway, because we all know it is faster, cheaper, as well as less carbon emission, and it won't require too much load on our existing freight corridors and expressways.
One more thing I have to say, actually, as Railways is trying its best to give you a very reliable transportation, we need now the support from the R&D sectors, mostly from IITs, where we find this, particularly in bridges, there is not much teaching being done. So we have already taken up the issue with the Ministry of Education also to teach MTech at in bridge engineering, and then we also have got a Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya at Vadodara, where we would be giving this MTech program in bridge engineering in years to come. We are already planning the syllabus and taking necessary steps. Meanwhile, we are also starting short-term courses on particular subjects to teach the bridge engineering in small modules. So all these things will help to create more awareness, more trained personnel in the country in bridge engineering, which will help to serve the nation in a better way and reduce the cost of logistics. Thank you.
So you have provided most of the, majorly the answer of my question that I had written for you to be asked in the networking session. Despite RDSO's very stringent laws, which is actually helping railway bridges to stay intact. I am born and brought up in Delhi. Since my childhood, I am hearing the old Delhi bridge, that Lohe Wala Pul, that it has been already 100 years ago. So now I am 47 now, it is intact. Despite that, there is sometimes adamancy of, sorry for my word, choice of words, adamancy of adopting new technology. And trust me, when we talk about railway bridges or railway engineering, there is hardly any technology that is being developed fully in India or conceptualized in India. We all are actually importing or adapting certain technologies, making them India viable and presenting to RDSO. The issue is, even the railway ministry says that you have to go to the grind of RDSO approvals. So how you should, I believe all these universities which you are teaching new students, it will help RDSO officers also to adopt to new technology, at least gleefully accept them and adopt it.
It's a very good discussion that has started. I would like to continue it for some more time. Actually, when you say RDSO has not grown for the last 30-40 years. It also needs support from the external players, say IITs. For example, the research which I have told you, fatigue. I did the first project on this topic with IIT Roorkee, and people were not convinced that this project will be a success. But somehow it was a grand success, and we could change the complete way of designing steel girder bridges, and the code finally came in 2012. We started work in 2003. So it took about 9 years for us to complete this project. But now it has opened up. Of course, it was something not new, but it was there in the other codes of other countries like Euro code, British code, Australian code, AREMA, etc., etc. But that has given us the hope that IITs can really help us, provided we have got a kind of a center there in each and every IIT. Of course, CRRI has got a bridge division, I understand. But that is not sufficient. We need to develop more such centers in bridge engineering if you want the sturdy bridges to be constructed and they are to be sustained for a longer period of time. So this is my submission. And then one more thing, the consultants. In fact, the problem with the technology is people give us the technology, they suggest us the technology, but they don't take the responsibility. If something is good, then it's okay. They take the credit. But something fails, they wash off their hands. The responsibility of running the railways is with the railway administration. So we have to be cautious. We cannot take experiments without getting sure about the results. That is the problem. Thank you.
Sir, you will be glad to know that under Technology Mission for Indian Railway, we are developing the steel slag based railway track along with RDSO and Ministry of Steel. So like in place of the natural railway ballast, you can utilize the steel slag based railway ballast, which can increase your load carrying capacity of the track significantly. There will be the increase of 3 to this particular project has been taken up under Technology Mission for Indian Railway, but now re-sanctioned by the Ministry of Steel. Since the similar short of issue of internal finance and all these things happened in the RDS, so it got delayed. Now it has been taken up by the Indian Railway. So
Thank you very much.
Coordinating this particular project from CRRI.
Thank you for this information, but we need many more areas of research to be explored. I know many areas, but I don't find the research people available to do those, to work on those areas.
So I think we are done with the questions, and that was incredible session. And I request Ms. Bachchan to please present the mementos to the speakers. Mr. Mohit Kapoor, Chair Projects and Events Committee, Warehousing Association of India. Can we have a round of applause? Dr. Satish Pandey, Principal Scientist, CRRI. Thank you so much. Mr. Ravendra Kumar Goyal, Principal Executive Director, Bridges at Indian Railways. Mr. Arun Pandit, Co-founder, SCS. Last but not the least, Mr. Pushpang Kaushik, Head Business Development, Jasper Shipping. Thank you so much. And I think let's move on to the quiz question. Please raise your hand. This would be the last question for today, which means last chance to grab the hamper. Last quiz question, please raise your hand.
Please come ahead, sir.
Okay, one. We need more participants. Yes, please come, sir. So we have 3 participants now. We need 2 more. 4. We need 1 more participant. This would be the last one. Okay, we have got the 5 participants now. The question is, I thought that he's coming and joining us. He came and sit over there. The first one. अब आप आ ही जाइए सर यहाँ पर. I think I should start with a question now. Which port is likely to become India's first mega port with 267 million tons capacity by 2030? Which port is likely to become? Yes, no. नहीं हुआ. No. Which port is likely to become India's first mega port with 267 million tons capacity?
It is Paradip Post? No. Paradip Port?
No.
Mundra.
No.
Chennai.
No.
Chennai.
No. Yes, ma'am. No. No, it's not correct. Yes. No. वो तो गूगल कर लिया आपने इतनी देर में कांडला. Although Kandla is a correct answer, but I think he googled the answer. Okay, I have one more question. And this time only the participants will. Recently our honorable minister said that Indian roads would be better than roads of which country? It's a very easy answer. आज पहले session में इसका discussion हुआ है. Recently honorable minister said that Indian roads would be better than the roads of which country?
USA.
USA is the correct answer. So can we have the hamper please?
I need not guess this, madam.
If they are up, then मैं खिला देती
Sir, please introduce yourself, your name.
I'm Arvind Kumar, retired from Ministry of Coal in 2023.
सारा knowledge base ले आए.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank
and
you,
happy
thank you,
Diwali.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Once again, happy Diwali to all of you and congratulations.
Join us for tea and we can do something.
Please join us for tea and there we have Diwali games. Diwali है और cards ना खेलें तो फिर तो Diwali incomplete है. So please join us for tea opposite to the conference hall and join us for the cards game.
Where innovations in the steel
Now I
value chain
request Ms.
are
Bachchan to please come up and share her remarks for today, insights and of course a closure.
Private Limited.
Metalogic promotes open communication channels where employees are encouraged to share their ideas, concerns, and
So before we close, सर 2 मिनट और बेयर कर लीजिए with my closing speech. As we come to the end of this insightful conference of modern logistics for metals and mineral, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your participation and engagement throughout the day. Your insights and support have truly enriched and discussions, and we are grateful for the time you took us for today. I want to thank all our speakers. Okay, we have a wallet. Somebody left it. Pooja Divedi. Madam, please carry your wallet. A big thank you to our sponsors and partners, our support association, whose generous support made this event possible. Your commitment to the industry and collaboration with Metallogic PMS is invaluable. I would also like to acknowledge our exceptional speakers and panelists who shared their expertise and experience with us. The depth of knowledge and the innovative ideas you presented are what make gathering like this so meaningful. Thank you for taking the time to prepare and share your insights, which undoubtedly inspired many of us. To our attendees, thank you for your active participation in the quiz, in all the Q&As, insightful questions, and willingness to share your own experience and challenges. It is through your engagement that we derive meaningful conversation and ultimately find solutions that push our industry forward. As we move forward, let's carry the energy and insight we gained today into our respective organization. The discussions we have had crucial shaping a more efficient, sustainable and innovative logistic landscape for the minerals and metals sector. I want to call upon my team. My team, please come forward. Everyone, please come ahead. देखो नाम नहीं ले पाऊंगी, बहुत सारे हो गए हो, भूल जाती हूँ मैं. आगे आ जाओ सब लोग ना. Everybody please come ahead. So this conference what you have attended today, this is my young team of professionals who are behind the show. So we have 3 departments. One is the creative department. Please raise your hand. Amarjeet, Shiv and Prachi. So the creatives what you are seeing, the videos which you have seen here, these are all designed by our in-house team. And also do not forget to carry the reports available in our stall of Meta Weekly and the Inland Waterways special report we have created for you. And we have the second department of marketing team. So all the efforts of calling the sponsors, support association, delegates and all the VIPs. Marketing team, please raise your hands. So this is our marketing team, Yasmin, Rahul, Hardik. These are the people who are again behind the show of calling you, inviting you and taking your follow-ups. We have a third department of content team, behind the scene, all the research. Yeah, please raise your hand. Rajat, Manu, Devashish, Kanwal and Zed. So these are the guys, all the R&D, the agenda, the reports what you see and the news which you get on everyday basis from us. These are the guys who are behind the news and services. And of course for the membership, let's not forget Ruchi Tripathi. Yeah, so please become our member, official member of Metallogic. Reach out to Ms. Ruchi Tripathi to get the membership of Metallogic, and also that not only helps with the research and news, but also a lot of benefits throughout the year you'll be getting while participating in the conference. I'm excited to announce that we will meet again in December in Chennai for our next conference. Thank you so much. Focusing on steel service centers and advanced color coated. I encourage you all to join us for more engaging discussion and networking opportunity. The conference in Chennai, we are planning to organize in the month of December, and that will primarily focusing on steel service center. We have done steel service center 2 years ago at Pune, and trust me, it was a wonderful engagement with all the technology providers, steel makers and distributors who participated. And this time again, we are expecting the same from the southern region. Before we conclude, I want to wish you all a very happy Diwali in advance. May the festival of light bring joy, prosperity and innovation into your lives and businesses. Thank you once again for being here and contributing to the success of this conference. Safe travel home, and I look forward to seeing you in December. Thank you so much.
This is a firm.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.